B-roll. We got that B-roll, B-roll.
Joe Rogan criticized Jon Jones on his podcast, expressing frustration with the UFC heavyweight champion's current path. Rogan said it's baffling that Jones is appearing on foreign reality TV shows instead of focusing on defending his title or preparing for a unification bout with Tom Aspinall. He pointed out that fans are left waiting for clarity in the heavyweight division, while Jones seems more interested in unrelated side projects. Rogan emphasized that Jones should prioritize fighting over distractions outside the octagon.
Hey, how long you been here?
Yeah.
Oh,
One, 2, not late. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Okay. Bro, дальше
The recent clash between Jon Jones and Nate Diaz on a Russian reality show has raised even more questions about Jones's current direction. The show, called AOLF Reality, featured both fighters as opposing coaches, in a format similar to the UFC's The Ultimate Fighter. It was designed to showcase their personalities and training styles, giving fans a deeper look into both men. However, things quickly took a turn. During one of the training segments, a disagreement between the teams escalated into an unexpected physical altercation between Jones and Diaz, something neither the UFC nor fans ever anticipated happening in that environment.
3 fights, you know what I'm saying? Title fights.
He's talking about with Islam. He's saying that he's a little new in the sport still.
Yeah, he's got a lot of work to do before.
But he has a big future. You got a big future.
Big future, but I think that same Habib career, not long.
Yeah, not very long.
Yeah, just start the pressure just to make the fight jump. So it's done a lot. You know, you kept on keeping on, and I still are.
I feel like
how's this even arguing?
the longer you're on top, the more time your opponents.
According to Jake Shields, who was part of Nate Diaz's team, the altercation began when a member of Jon Jones's side became overly aggressive during training. This triggered a reaction from Diaz, and both teams quickly got involved. Shields said the situation spiraled out of control and criticized the crew for not doing enough to de-escalate the conflict. Following the incident, Diaz and his team chose to leave the show, citing concerns over safety and a lack of proper management from the production team in handling the situation.
When you put Nate Diaz, who the Russians don't like, on Russian Tough, there's going to be an issue. I don't know. It's actually laughable because I don't know how you couldn't see this coming. Oh, man. You can't make this up, guys. You can't write this. So this guy knows who Nate is. He's seen Nate. He's probably pretty aware of his issues with Khabib. At some point, guys, you can't be fighting, like, in the street.
Rogan reacted strongly, saying the entire setup seemed poorly planned. He criticized the show's organizers for allowing the situation to escalate and questioned their decision to feature fighters like Jon Jones and Nate Diaz, both known for intense personalities, in a competitive format without clear structure. Rogan noted that putting such volatile figures in that environment was bound to lead to conflict. While he wasn't surprised things boiled over, he expressed disappointment in how it all unfolded and how badly it was handled.
Hope you're never a bookmaker.
Yeah, no, that's true. I hope so too.
There's certain things that you just can't, there's certain physical attributes and advantages you cannot overcome. It's not saying that Nate isn't an amazing fighter. Nate is an amazing fighter and has been for a long time. I mean, you can go way back.
Is Jon Jones scared to fight you?
Yes. Jon is conning the public. The fact that he didn't want to fight Ngannou for 3 years and now he's not wanting to fight me for over a year.
Is that fight fucking happening?
The UFC are saying that it's going to happen. I think it's down to him and Dana.
Dana loves Jon Jones.
He's trying to grease up his ego a little bit. I think he's one of the best fighters ever. Definitely top 3. That's debatable when you start putting in about drug tests and stuff like that, I think.
Damn. What drug are you talking about specifically?
Yeah. John, in my opinion, if you look at his body of work over the last 15 years, he's like as close as you can get to perfection as possible. He's like 37, 38 years old, but not only that, he's got 1 million miles on the clock. So he's got a lot of damage on the body. He's took a lot of shots to the head. And that's not me saying anything negative about it. That's the reality of it. And I'm sure John Jones is aware of that. And he's fighting one of the most concussive punchers in UFC history. And I just think I can exploit it. Like, I think to get out the way of me for 25 minutes.
Aspinall's a freak. Like, I've seen a lot of heavyweight, even Francis, who's like the greatest, scariest power striker I've ever seen in the heavyweight division. No one's scarier than Francis. Francis does not move like Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is significantly faster than every other heavyweight. That's a real problem. That's a real problem. But John has been used to fighting guys like Alexander Gustafsson, guys who are really fast at light heavyweight. So the speed is not going to be...
I have nothing but respect for Nate Diaz. I was like, wow.
He's a gangster.
He's a gangster. And homeboy, he wasn't even that great of shape, and he came in and showed heart, how he fights. And he came forward the whole time. If he didn't get dropped in the, was it 8th round? Was it 8th round?
I don't remember which round.
Yeah, I think it was 7th or 8th round that he got dropped by that punch. If he didn't get dropped by that punch, I think he would have won.
No way.
I thought it was that close.
I thought he was doing enough to win on points, but he was injured. I wanted to go see him afterwards in the locker room, and one of his chests.
I think pound for pound, and we won't ever find out. I think Tom Aspinall is the best. I think.
Well, who knows?
I think Tom beats him.
Who knows if John beats him? John might beat him up.
Yeah, he could.
John might take him down and fucking ragdoll him on the ground, like, you know.
John easily could, because we don't know how good John is either.
And we also don't know what happens to Tom Aspinall in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds.
He's
we have zero
because no one's gotten there.
No one's even gotten close.
There's so many question marks. Like, we don't know how good John is.
Right.
You can't tell me John's the best of all time, or he is the best GOAT. But you can't tell me he's the...
He's annoying to me. He's annoying to me. And that's my own personal... He annoys me. I get to you guys, you find it entertaining, but I find him annoying, and I just don't like him. And at the end of the day, if I give him the opportunity to fight me, I want to be so compensated. I want to say it, I want that you money, honestly, and that's just what it is. That's just what it is.
I bet if he's weighing 215, he would fight Tom Aspinall better than him weighing 245 pounds. In his 205 frame, he could fight Tom Aspinall better than he'd fight him at that 250 because that's not his weight class. While he didn't last long with Cyril, he didn't look as fast. He carried more weight. Cyril just did some weird stuff. And John, you don't make mistakes against you.
I hope you're never a bookmaker.
Yeah, no, that's true. I hope so too.
There's certain things that you just can't. There's certain physical attributes and advantages you cannot overcome. It's not saying that Nate isn't an amazing fighter. Nate is an amazing fighter and has been for a long time. I mean, you can go way back. Nate has been submitting and beating people for a long fucking time. He's a tough motherfucker.
Yeah.
But Francis.
Last question. Our fight day's a little different without Nick.
100% less scary and fucking intense, and yes. If Nick's here, I better kill that motherfucker, because that shit wasn't good enough.
I'm not going back. If they'll have me, I would like to go back and fucking whip someone's ass.
It's fight the other guy really good too. That name
Yeah.
So he's really good. He's smaller.
Like,
it's weird.
If I do my own thing, I'm sure they'll watch. If not,
yeah, for sure.
Let's go try and see what happens.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier too. I think Jake's kind of switched up. Like, I feel like previously when he's fought these dudes, he goes out on super hard on social media, but with you, he's been way more quiet.
Yeah.
Do you think? Have you noticed that?
I thought the same thing with Connor when I fought Connor. I was like, know that he roasted everybody at the press conferences and stuff and went hard on everybody. And I was like, well,
it's like if he wants to fight Nate in an MMA fight and the PFL comes with that long money, who fucking knows? You know, he's saying I want to do that PFL shit, but what does he mean by that? It's an MMA fight. Like, is he wanting to get back in the UFC so he could fight Conor McGregor? So he fights Jake and then he fights Conor? Because if he fights Conor next, that kind of still is valid.
Correct.
Like if Connor said, I want to fight Nate Diaz.
Yeah, it's still good.
That's still good.
And I think it would, if
Water bottle, fine. The classic one with you and Connor that you see all the time.
Connor, don't throw those hands. Connor. That's a wrap.
That was for sure fine.
Do you ever look back at that shit and you're like, yo, that was
you know
hilarious?
how much money more I made?
Yeah. Do you guys ever like see that clip pop up or like laugh at that shit now?
Yeah, it was hilarious.
I don't want to sound arrogant, but I think what it is being so good at what I do that it's just almost never enough. I'm very aware that, you know, that the Tom Aspinall is like, it's making more headlines than Stipe. You know, when I win, there's always an excuse. Well, oh, he really wasn't that well-rounded, and it's hard to compare to any other fighter because I don't think any other fighter in our sports history has ever had to deal with it. You know, I just beat Cyril Gain, and we can go back in a time machine and hear the way that people talked about Gain. You know, and then as soon as I beat him, he's like, oh, well, he wasn't that, or he's this, and like, so it's a very interesting place to be in, and it just is what it is.
And I mean, as far as Curtis Blades go, there was also a lot of people thinking it could have gone over a round and a half. And I mean, you don't like second rounds. Like, what do you have against second rounds, Tom Aspinall?
Absolutely nothing. His coach said in the build-up, we're going to drag him into deep water. We're going to drag him to the later rounds. So I was preparing myself for the later rounds. You know what I mean? That was me. I was going slow in there, man. That wasn't me trying to knock him out at all. I never looked for the finish. I was like they're saying they're going to drag me into deep water. I'm going to look in the camera and say, somebody drag me into deep water. I'm telling you, I want to feel what it's like. I want to see if I can swim or not. John Jones, if you can drag me there, take me there, because right now, all these guys are saying it, but no one can do it.
I think fans are dreaming about John Jones and Tom Aspinall. That's the fight I think they're dreaming about.
Yes.
I think that if Stipe wins the fight or John Jones wins the fight, the way that both of those guys are wired, I think they fight Aspinall. So we'll see.
Defend your belt against Aspinall, who has the interim title?
More than likely not. More than likely not. I get that Tom is an exciting fighter. I get that finally, after 16 years, we found somebody who's 7 years younger than me and 30 pounds bigger than me. Like, we finally found someone who may give me a great challenge. And everyone wants to see it so bad. But for me, it's like, what is it? What's in it for me? He changes nothing if I beat.
Obviously, you want to fight John Jones. This is the only sport that you can have somebody hold your career back.
I think I'm a bad matchup for him. I don't feel like I have a lot of miles on the clock, and 32 is quite young for a heavyweight. But I consider myself very lucky because there's a lot of times that I didn't want to do the sport.
Yeah.
Especially like, I think a lot of people who are not involved with the sport and not fighting professionally don't realize how hard it is financially.
Oh, it is.
And especially when I had kids and stuff.
Yeah.
I wanted to quit so many times because I'm like, I just need to get some money.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And then a lot of the times, my dad reminded me, look, we've done this for a long time. You can't stop now. You're right there. Just keep going at it.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very lucky that I've got my dad. Not just for that, for plenty of reasons.
Of course.
But yeah, I don't know any other way, so it's difficult. But now I've got my own children.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do it with my own kids.
Would you then be open to fighting Tom Aspinall, or are you categorically thinking, he does nothing for me, I will not fight that guy?
He does nothing for me. He does nothing for me. What I'd like to see him do is go on and have a great career. You know, so many times people like to just try to go straight to the top, you know? And if we're in a business setting where he is and where I am, he wouldn't even be crossing paths with me. He wouldn't even be talking to me. I believe I'm at a place where I deserve to be able to say, I don't want to fight that guy. I want to fight this guy. I want to fight that guy. And that's why I'm be more than willing to relinquish the belt. I don't feel like I need the heavyweight championship of the world. I feel like what I've created for myself is almost bigger than belts. So the main goal is to get past Stipe. And if I can do it in a really dominant depth.
My man, I'm excited to see you again.
But you're still active. 10 years left, but you're still
He said, you got 10 years left, but you're still active.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm done.
He got a little girl, he's like, oh.
I'm looking forward to seeing you again, Camille. You look great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's do some business.
Many fighters of all time.
John Jones, of course.
Okay.
John Jones is
Because
actually mine as well.
nobody is like him. Nobody. He beats a lot of guys, you know, like he beats the monsters. You know, I did work all my training, and we did with Alex. I know how good he did, and if John Jones could stop that guy, it's scary. You know, and he beat like not easy fighters. It was crazy good fighters, knockout power, and on the ground it was good. Everything was like perfect. The guy. And DC, you know how he pressure, and he's good wrestling, and he has good boxing, and he has mentality. It's like just pressure the fighters and kill them, you know. And he stopped that guy as well. You can't say Kamaru's better than him. If he stay in the game, he has to beat pound number one.
Timeline, the realistic timeline, and is it definitely Stipe when you come back?
As of right now, I think it's definitely going to be Stipe. Stipe and I have both been in the sport for a long time. I don't think Stipe is getting the respect that he deserves. Me and Stipe have unfinished business, and I think that's the only fair thing to do. I'm excited for Tom in his future.
But you never see that happening.
You know, I can't say that. I'm really going to base whether I continue to fight on how I compete against Stipe, how I heal up from this injury. You know, I could blow Stipe out of the water, or it could be an
on the couch. As soon as I could get in the gym and start working towards different things, it was great, and I felt good, and I was like, right, I definitely want to come back. Now I'm going to go. I don't have any injuries. I'm going to win the heavyweight championship. I'm going to. This is the fight against John Jones. Like, not the fight is another thing.
Yeah.
This is the tricky bit where I really have to stay switched on, stay motivated, and I'm trying my best.
Next question, but damn it, I'm going to ask anyway. Is there a fight that Dana White wants to see in the UFC above all else in 2025?
So I get asked this every year, and this year it would be Aspinall Jones. That's the biggest fight in heavyweight history. And at the end of the day, what my job is to give the fans what they want, and that's what.
I got people in the chat calling me a duck. Meanwhile, I'm living my absolute best life. I don't know if it's considered ducking when you're living good. I don't think it works like that.
Has to be in control of it. And John is the master manipulator, and he's a master at the mind games that are behind this sport. He's been doing it for so many years against the best guys in the world. So I understand that Tom Aspinall has this fighter mindset where he wants to say, I'm better than you and you think you're better than me, and so I'm gonna keep attacking that. John doesn't care about any of that. The person who cares the least in every negotiation wins. John Jones does not care what Tom Aspinall wants, and
If you're John Jones and you're fighting a guy like Tom Aspinall, how would you bring the war to a guy like Tom?
He's doing the right thing. He's no selling. Like, he's acting like he does not matter. Make him just angry and just don't give him what he wants. Don't give him what he wants until eventually, yo, did you see the house John Jones just bought?
Hey,
John Jones doing all right, bro. Did you see John Jones' house?
I said congratulations.
John Jones doing all right, man. John Jones don't need Tom Aspinall.
No, he doesn't. But if he was, let's say, dude, because you never know.
You think he should fight this guy?
No, I think.
Right. John Jones wins the title in 2011, and from then on has fought more fights as championship fights than he has other fights. So he's the most accomplished.
I remember when I locked on to him as far as static strength goes. I've never felt anybody like that in my life. Here's one memory I have. I'm in his guard, we're working. He grabs both my wrists, and I kind of sit up for a second, and I can't release his grip. He literally scoots his ass out, pulls his ankles behind him, and stands up with my hands.
I want to be undisputed champ because I feel like I deserve a shot at it. That being said, I'm also a professional fighter and I'm not fighting at the moment. That isn't really my fault though. That's more to do with the UFC. They really want to make the fight with me.
Going up for a paycheck, that's not the Stipe of old.
that was in his prime anymore. So, you know, I don't think anything special that performance. I think John needs to stop ducking Tom Aspinall, just like he ducked Nagano. You know, he ducked Nagano for years. Now he's ducking Aspinall. So he doesn't want to fight the guys he knows he's getting his ass whooped against. So I don't think anything special to John.
So I think if you look at John Jones's early career, right? John Jones wins the title in 2011, and from then on has fought more fights as championship fights than he has other fights. So he's the most accomplished for sure. Wins the title, the earliest, youngest guy to ever win the title in the UFC. Beats Mauricio Shogun Rua, who's a legend. And then the way he dominates all these other fighters, up until you get to Alexander Gustafsson, you could make the
Aspinall Jones fights happens.
It's got to happen. I was sitting next to Tom the other week at the UFC in London and talking to him about it.